Okay, so opinions and beliefs that we have formed. Um, yeah, sure, you can give your opinion about a subject. That's cool. Say we are talking about meat and whether to eat it or not, for example. Interesting subject. So, yeah, some people have a different opinion about meat or about eating meat. Um, any opinion is in itself a point from where you view something. So it's like you have only an opinion because you're looking at a subject or an object from a point of reference, meaning you have a perspective because you're looking from a particular point of view, and that forms your opinion. So your reference and your background and everything that you have gone through and that you have associated and connected and defined as yourself will now give you a specific opinion when looking at a specific subject or object. So different people will have different opinions. And the cool thing is when someone shares an opinion, you can immediately see what their point of reference is and where they're coming from, so to speak. So one thing is it is cool self-support, sharing your opinion in terms of you can see how you've defined yourself, where you're coming from, what your point of reference is, what your background is, where you're coming from. The second point is your opinion is not who you are. So besides that, it's cool to use a self-support in terms of identifying definitions you formed yourself that you use and that are your filter when looking through to the world. It is not who you are, meaning those opinions are formed through all information that you've associated and now looking at something, and you will create something that has to do with how you've defined the world as such, what your point of reference is, where you're coming from, your background, your past. So that is not actually who you are. And that's simply important to realize, in the sense only sticking to an opinion and defending an opinion or a specific belief, or going from the belief of we're all entitled to an opinion and that is my freedom, is actually working against yourself, in terms of when you recognize, like, okay, this is just an opinion, this point of view, and I formed that through such and such. I can see how that has emerged from my past, from my experiences, and such. So then you can actually work with it and just see it as an opinion and not cling on to it as something that is how it really is, or, then it becomes a belief, like something that you really believe is the way it is. But really there's not much that we can really say, like, okay, that is the way it is. So that is with regards to opinion, and maybe the difference between opinion and perspective. When you say perspective, you already realize, okay, it's perspective. I'm looking from an angle, and I realize that I'm looking at the snapshot situation. I'm looking at it from a point of view, and I'm sharing that, and that's insightful sometimes, because you see where other people are coming from and what their point of view is on a particular situation, and through multiple points of view you get a surround view of a particular subject, and then more general, more fundamental point becomes visible of what all can see, giving their opinion, what all have within their opinion, like a fundamental truth, if you so to speak, that is of the entire subject that we can all say and agree upon. So that is basically also how many forming works, and how constructive criticism actually works. So okay, that's just a point of view, a perspective that you might want to consider.